Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lion's Den Show. And here's your host, Cody Robert Judy.
Welcome to the Lion's Den Show. I'm your host and your toast, Cody Robert Judy. Cheers, it's good to be with you. Today is May 22nd, 2011, and as you can see, the world as we knew it yesterday passed away. And today it's the dawning of a new day. So in a sense, the world did end yesterday, and I predict the same thing will happen today when the sun goes down. The really nice thing about a new day is the past is left behind, and today when the sun goes down, well, we get a new fresh start tomorrow. We have kind of a mind-blowing show for you today. It's a little foreign, but I'm going to do my best to make it domestic for you. According to information kept by the Center for Responsive Politics, a little more than half of the donations from pro-Israel political action committees went towards Democrats in 2008. The bulk of it, $1.16 million, went to Obama. Malcolm Hoenlein, executive vice chairman of the Conference of President of Major American Jewish Organizations, said it's too early to tell whether the courtship between Obama and American Jews is in peril. Ben Hoenlein said he's hearing considerable concern that Obama just made the 1967 borders the starting point for negotiations with the Palestinians, rather than something the two sides might arrive at down the road. He said the Palestinians now can pocket this issue to use it to influence talks. 67 lines are not defensible. Israel today is 45 miles wide. You must put it back to 67 lines. We're 8 miles wide. Now, I'm quite certain that those people giving money to Obama are out of their minds. I mean, does Israel really expect Obama to care about borders? I mean, under Obama, Arizona has been sued for wanting to protect their borders. It's very clear with the Obama agenda that borders really aren't that necessary to be a nation. He's kind of a modgepodge guy, and can we all just get along without borders? And really, property rights are not really that important. You know that U.S. Amendment 5, the portion that says you're not to be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation, that just might be a little bit sticky for Obama. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is set to meet with Obama Friday, he's already met with him, but this is an article, had a similar reaction. His office said in a statement, while Israel appreciates Obama's commitment to peace, the Prime Minister essentially wants Obama to retract his remarks in opposition to the National Jewish Democratic Council that offered praise to Obama's remarks, calling his approach pragmatic and arguing that his framework is far from radical. Now, to Americans donating to Obama's campaign, this is a terrific example of the respect towards individual property rights Obama has. He wouldn't hesitate, and it wouldn't be any big deal to him to confiscate your property, even if you had it for 44 years, and it's still not yours. And don't play that game going back to the beginning of time game, because it was yours then too. Oh yeah. You know, let me interject here, just off topic just a little for a second. This is a terrific time to tell all Americans that anyone who hasn't been through a divorce or 2 or 3 doesn't really know what it's like to have property confiscated. And I think this is a big plus for me, and I think it really would have worked for Donald Trump too if he kind of worked that angle. Anyway, if you want someone who's going to fight for property rights and respect your borders, you really need to vote for someone who's got some divorces in the resume and preferably been a defendant in the case. I think at least 50% of America could identify with that. I'm saying those of you who haven't been divorced should just take it from the rest of us and make sure in 2012 you pick someone who's had a few divorces as a defendant. Your property rights and your borders will be much better protected. Okay, back to the National Jewish Democratic Council. There will be the naysayers who can find something to protest from this address, including what is widely accepted wisdom, that a final resolution will ultimately be passed on 67 lines, with mutually agreed swaps, the group said. But the fact is that this speech and the policies it represents are replete with unwavering, unshakable support for Israel. Please don't ever hire a lawyer from this firm to protect your borders and property. They're out of their Jewish minds. Now, Ketzela, head of the National Union Party in Israel, who received nearly 30% of the vote in Israel election, said in a plea of what he hoped would penetrate the ears of Congress, "I wish to tell you that of some 7.5 million residents of the state of Israel, 6 million are Jews. 650,000 of them live in what is called East Jerusalem, Judea and Samaria, Israel's heartland, the dwelling place of our forefathers liberated in that Six-Day War." Gives you a little idea about what's right in America as far as citizenship goes, not separating cultures but understanding borders, something Palestinians are having a hard time with. Even though Israel has offered citizenship, it seems to me like Americans offered citizenship. I mean, you could be a Palestinian and be an Israeli citizen. I mean, after 44 years in today's world, that is pragmatic. Now, Gabriel Queenan had some interesting thoughts about Obama in an article entitled Sundown in the Middle East. Amidst the spring revolutions, these are the tiny revolutions being widely touted by the press as patriotic as America's our own revolution, and coincidentally, Osama bin Laden has the same sentiments as the press in America. Makes you wonder why the press hated him. Our region, it continues, never the nicest neighborhood, has become a mean, dark place. We are dealing with a cast of mean, dangerous people, not just Munich massacre financier Abu Masan or genocidal Hamas co-founders Khalid Mashal and Mahmoud al-Zahar or bomb-happy Ahmadinejad, but now the American president too? Avram Stern, no wide-eyed, froth-at-the-mouth rival tent Jew, wrote, "Building of the Third Temple is a symbol of the new era of total redemption." He knew the Jews' unique national character was ultimately bound with Jerusalem. Obama wants to divide. That the Torah shall go forth from Zion, the word of God from Jerusalem. We need a prime minister, he continues, who is hard because he has to be. We need a prime minister who knows all the angles. We need a prime minister who knows the back chat. We need a prime minister who will punch first and ask questions later when your rights are challenged. A prime minister who knows the only way his people will see justice if he goes and makes it himself. It's time to reach for your fedora, Mr. Netanyahu. It's sundown in the Middle East. You know what? Well, it's sundown here in America too. And as far as Obama goes, he's not a natural-born citizen or qualified because his father was not an American citizen at the time of Obama's birth. I don't know about any fedora. In America, we reach for a Batman helmet. Roll the clip, please. And while you're watching this, please remember to fasten your seatbelts and remember to keep your arms and legs inside. In America is really excited about the revolutions in Egypt happening now. The United States is willing to help Egypt without knowing the extent of the Muslim Brotherhood's reach. We may be offering billions of dollars in aid to a government that will, by its nature and history, be at odds with Israel's existence. To the extent that the United States, under the sympathetic Muslim brother Obama, has provided at least $1 billion military assistance to Libya's rebels without knowing who they are, beyond knowing that some of them at least have been al-Qaeda affiliated. We may be bombing a country on behalf of people who are by nature at odds with the existence of Israel. Reckless approach to the Middle East, throwing a few $1 billion worth of bombs around, money and political support at countries that may end up well armed and wanting Israel off the map. Jerusalem's Newswire picture, April 9, 2010. U.S. Presidential Barack Obama acknowledged Monday that the Islamic Republic of Iran, which has repeatedly voiced its intentions to see Israel wiped off the map, is on course to obtain nuclear weapons after all. You know, if I was in opposition to Israel pushing a button on a nuke to wipe Israel off the face of the map, remembering that 6-day war with Egypt and how that event went, I'd be a little worried the damn thing would backfire on me. November 2006, Benjamin Netanyahu sounded a clarion call that went largely dismissed by the rest of the world. It's 1938, he said, and Iran is Germany. And Iran is racing to arm itself with atomic bombs. Netanyahu starkly warned the United Jewish Community's General Assembly, believe Ahmadinejad and stop him. He continued, this is what we must do. Everything else pales before this. Now ask yourself a little question. Why has Pakistan got the fastest developed nuke facility in history? Exclusive satellite imagery taken in April 2011 exposes a nuclear reactor facility in Kashhab, Pakistan, which now is the fastest growing nuclear program in the world. The facility was undetectable in satellite images taken as recently as December 2009. Pictured directly above the circled area are two white boxes, which are also nuclear reactors. Osama bin Laden was found in Pakistan community, and since 2001, Pakistan has received upwards of $20 billion in aid. Pakistan knows it can outstare the West, says Pakistani nuclear physicist Pervez Hoodboy. It's confident the West knows that Pakistan's collapse is too big a price to pay, so the bailout is there in perpetuity. The one thing we've been successful at. Pakistan has received more than $20 billion in U.S. military and economic aid since 2001, making it the largest recipient of U.S. assistance. Want to guess where they spent the money? The White House appears to have made a tacit trade-off with Islamabad for your cooperation in Afghanistan. We'll leave you to your own nuclear devices. Where was it Osama bin Laden was supposedly captured again? That's right, it was Pakistan. Yeah, I guess that's a good place to hide. The U.S. under Obama ain't gonna do anything. People bristle at the suggestion, but it follows, doesn't it? Says Ralph Mowatt-Larssen, formerly the CIA's chief officer handling terrorism and weapons of mass destruction. The irony is that the U.S. presence in Afghanistan and Pakistan and the money that we're giving them to fight terrorism could inadvertently aggravate the very problem we're trying to stop. After all, terrorism and nukes is the worst case scenario. Does anyone know where Iran might go to get nuclear material if their facility is incapacitated and Pakistan has got so much extra enriched fuel? European officials largely endorsed U.S. President Barack Obama's call for reshaping of the Israel-Palestine map by reverting to the borders in place before the Six-Day War of '67. Maja Kosinjic, a spokesman for EU, concurred. We believe Obama's actions and objectives find a clear echo in the work the European Union is doing. Foreign ministers of Poland, Germany, and France also said they agreed with Obama's idea. We support Obama's courageous message, said Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski. Barack Obama did what Europe has been trying to convince him to do. And here I thought Israel was paying Obama to do it with their presidential contributions to him. That's kind of like paying for the wife's attorney, who's taken pretty much all your property on a voluntary basis rather than waiting for the judge to at least order you to pay those attorney fees. And I can tell you from experience that isn't very wise. And Israel, like birthers, seem to have the world against them. I'm Cody Robert Judy. Until next time, cowboy up, spur 'em in the guts.